Today, I'm just going to talk to you about the best growth trading strategy for 2025 for this year. In my 30 years of trading, I realized that the system and the squiggly lines are not going to make you any money. In fact, all they're going to do is provide you with a high probability trade or, at best, a win rate. And as you know, I always tell you guys, that a win rate is completely worthless. We're not going to go to the charts today, so if you're waiting for the charts or looking for the charts in the video, they're not going to be there. I'm just going to have a heart-to-heart with you today about what's going to make you the money in the markets, the best strategy that's going to make you the money in the markets. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rob, and for those of you who do know me, guess what? I'm still Rob. That's not going to change. Let's have some coffee. Let's get on with it. And let's chat about the future. That's a good cup of coffee, man. As always, a great cup of coffee makes the day. What you got to understand, guys, is the market's 50-50. Some you win, some you lose. And I equate it to a coin toss. In a coin toss, you get heads and you get tails. And you would agree with me, maybe not, that if you flip a coin 10 times, that 5 times it'll probably land on heads, and 5 times it'll probably land on tails. That's just the way it works. And that's the way trading works. It's 50-50. Trouble is, you're going to say to me, but Rob, if it lands on tails 5 times and heads 5 times and at 50-50, then in all likelihood, I'm going to end on a 0 and I'm not going to make any money, am I? Well, you are. And this is why we're going to talk about the strategy today. Because what if I told you we're going to flip the coin 10 times? And let's say it's a 5 Rand coin. And for every single one that you lose, you're going to lose the 5 Rand coin. And for every single one that you win, not only are you going to win the 5 Rand coin, but we'll give you another one on top of that, making it a 10 Rand. I don't know anyone on earth who wouldn't take those odds, because those are good odds just on a coin flip, on a random generated idea. Yet, when we're trading, we think we have to win every trade. We get involved in trading and we think we need a system that's going to give us a win on every single trade. We need a win rate. The most important thing to most of you guys is that you need a win rate. You're always chasing the win rate. And that's actually the last thing that you want to do. What you want to do is chase the profit, not the win rate. The win rate's not going to help you in the slightest, not even close. See, the trouble with the win rate is if you win 8 trades in a row and you win them all at $10 a trade, and then you lose the 9th trade, and the 9th trade loses you $1,000, kind of leaves you in a loss. Kind of leaves you in a really bad place. And this is where the problem comes in. Guys, you need to know, trading's risky. Trading is very risky. In fact, 60 to 80% of traders lose money. And I know you sitting there thinking, I'm going to be part of the 40 or the 30% that win, because everyone thinks that way. But you're not. And then if you're day trading and you're trading on 5-minute charts, 1-minute charts, because everybody wants to do that because that's more exciting, and you get into 1-minute charts and trade 5 minutes and click, 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 and go for it. Then you're going to see that 99% of traders actually lose money. Now you're going to think that's crazy, but that is a factual statistic. 99% of traders lose money day trading 5-minute charts, 1-minute charts. And the reason for it is because it's all in the psychology. It's all in the mind. And it's all in the way you trade. While you're here, guys, join the members area down there. Get your perks, especially trade of the day every day. For those of you who want contact and one-on-ones, there's levels there for that as well. It's just there to support the channel. And if you want a free Forex book, there is one in the link below as well. Now, one of the things that I have picked up is many people ask me, can I make money trading? Is it possible to make money trading? Yes, it is. But you've got to have capital. It's the same question as, can I make money if I start a factory? or if I start a business. What do you need if you start a business or a factory or a shop? First thing you need is capital. The second thing you need is a plan, a business plan to go with that capital. So if you don't have the capital, drop down to the link in the description, get your FundYourFX account. There's a link there for you. You'll get a discount. Grab it and get trading with some capital, because you need the capital. Buy yourself $100,000 instant account and get going, because you need $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 to actually start making money in the markets. All you have to do is work it out, guys. You can make about 20 to 30 to 40% per annum. How much money do you need in your pocket? Then you'll see what sort of size of account they actually need to go with that. And if you lose those accounts, you only lose what you paid for the account. You don't lose the thousands of dollars that you lose. With the account, if you had a real $100,000 that you put in the account, you wouldn't lose the $100,000. You'll only lose what you lose on the funded account, which is fair. I was totally against funded accounts and prop firms for many years. Now, this year, I've kind of warmed to them and realized that they provide a service that might be necessary for some traders. Understand what you're working with and take your profits out as soon as you've got them. Because if you don't, they might just disappear and you won't have any. And if you, every Thursday, by the way, if you join me on the live show at 1400 GMT +2, in that show, I actually give away a 10K challenge account, 2-step challenge account, so that one of the subs gets himself a bit of fun and can play around with that account. To get that, all you have to do is comment. Drop a comment below and you'll be included. What I want to talk to you about is the straight up situation of being profitable in the market. How do you become profitable in a market that's 50-50? How do you make money in a market that's 50-50? Because so many people have said to me, that's rubbish. You've got to have an edge in the market and so on. When you take a trade on your high probability system, on that system with squiggly lines, all you're doing is taking a high probability trade. You're not taking a winning trade or a losing trade. Every single trade you take there is actually random. It's actually 50-50. You see, what you don't understand is in the market, you're trading against other human beings with loads of emotions. You're trading against people standing up and saying things that can change the market in a second. You're not trading against maths. You're not trading against algorithms. You're trading against other human beings. And when other human beings are involved, extreme emotions are involved. So when you take a trade, you have to understand that every single system in the market actually works. Every one. The course that you went on and you paid $5,000 for, that system works. The system that you got off YouTube, that is moving average crossover or MACD, it works. The system that we use, price action, go and check my other videos out. Go and have a look. We don't have any indicators or anything on the chart. We just use price action because that's all you need. You need to keep it simple. You need to keep it easy. Don't get complicated. Complicated's not going to make you money. Complicated's going to confuse you. You're going to start trading against yourself and you're just going to not know what to do. But I'm pretty sure you want to know, how you're going to make this money in the market. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you the strategy right now, right here in this video. I'm going to tell you how you can become profitable in the markets. But before we get to that, we have to understand that it's you that makes the difference, not the system, not the strategy. You see, you go on a course, you pass everything, you get a wonderful little certificate, a pretty little certificate that says, John Smith, passed this course, absolutely brilliant. You go back, you know all the terminology of the stock market. You know all the abbreviations. You know everything about the stock market. In fact, you even know when it was created and who created it. Trouble is, you've come back from the course with all this great knowledge, but you don't know how to trade and you don't know how to make money. That's the problem. You see, they'll always teach you all this stuff. You'll come back with massive amounts of knowledge. In fact, some of the live ones would actually even take you to the market floor, the Wall Street or whatever, but you haven't learned anything. And the one thing you should have learned is that you're trading with human beings. You're trading against emotions, and you're trading with fear, psychology, fear of missing out. So there's a few things you need to know before you get started. And the one is you have to switch off the fear, because all of us have an inbred fear in our minds. It comes from the dawn of time, when the dinosaur would come into your garden and you would look at it and think, well, I think I should run. Well, the cave garden, you was living in a cave and the dinosaur was coming towards the cave. You're thinking, I guess I'd better get out of here because I'm scared it's going to eat me. But that fear changed over time, and it changed to the point where now we have a fear of losing. We have a fear of losing what we have. We have a fear of losing money. We have a fear of losing material things. And that affects you immensely. And when you start trading, whether it's $1 or $1 million that's on the line, you're going to sweat and you're going to be worried about that loss because you're losing something and you're not used to losing something. Over time, you'll grow a reptile skin to it, a thick skin as we call it, and you'll kind of get used to the fact that you're going to lose. In fact, you'll lose more trades than you win, in case you didn't know that. While I said it's 50-50, in all likelihood, you'll probably lose more than you win. But you'll grow a thick skin to it, and you'll start to learn to understand how much you're prepared to lose. You have to become a good loser to become a good winner. After a while, you'll understand that if I lose $200 on a trade, I'm okay with it. But if I lose $300 on a trade, I'm stressing, I'm not happy, I can't sleep. So we're not going to risk $300, we're going to risk $200. You'll get comfortable with that. You also have to get around the fear of missing out, what we call FOMO. In other words, if you see a trade starting to move, you jump in early because you don't want to miss that trade. You don't want it to run without you. You jump in and it goes against you. Fear of missing out can cost you. It's the same as when you're in a profit and you're targeting $2,000, but you're $50 in profit. Yeah, I've got a profit, and you click and you take the profit. It's the fear of missing out. It's the fear of losing that $50. It's going to cost you. Don't do that. These are things that you have to get around in the market. These are things you have to get your mind around in the market. And one of the biggest ones is patience. This is why so many of you jump down to the 1 minute charts, jump down to the 5 minute charts, and you start trading. Because you're not prepared to wait. Now, if you're a beginner trader, let me tell you something. My best idea for a beginner trader is start on the higher time frames, the slower time frames. Start on the weekly, start on the daily, drop to the 4 hour later on, maybe the hour. I stay on the 4 hour because it gives me time in my life. It gives me relaxation. It gives me time to sit back and enjoy and do the things that I need to do. But in all reality, in all fairness, if you try and trade the 5 minute charts when you're brand new to it, you will lose all your money. You will not win. You will not be part of the 1% that win. And even I've traded 5 minute and 1 minute charts over time. And while I broke even and I had a good run, I realized that it's not for me. I don't want to sit and look at charts all day. That's not exactly what I want to do. So the big thing that you have to learn in the market is patience. Being able to sit on your hands and just wait for the trades to come to you. If you're on a 4 hour chart and the trade's not there, don't start jumping down the time frames to try and see if you can get in early, looking for that sniper entry, because it's probably going to bite you. It's probably going to take your money. And this is why you're losing, because you're not patient. You have FOMO, and you definitely have a lot of fear. These are the things that are costing you money in the market. Those are the 3 things that you really need to get your mind around and you really need to get past. If a trade is going into a loss, do not dollar cost average. Just when you want to dollar cost average, just give yourself a whack on the head and just tell yourself to stop. Because the one thing that's going to happen every time you dollar cost average is the trade's going to get worse. Every time, without fail. When you get to your stop loss, don't move it away. Because as I'll tell you now in the strategy, it's an invalidation area. Why would you want to move the stop loss? It's an area that you picked where you knew the trade's not going to work out. why would you want to now suddenly start moving it out the way or moving it further away? You decided that the trade would have failed if it got there. Leave it alone. Sit in your hands. When the trade moves $50 into profit when you're targeting $2,000 or $500 or much more than $50, just take a brick and break your fingers or something, because don't trade out, don't sell it. Just leave it. If you're really worried, move the stop loss up to break even or move the stop loss up behind the profit and let it move with it and trail it. You might not make the full profit, but at least you wouldn't have traded out at $50. Maybe you'll trade out at 100 or 200 or whatever the case, a little bit better than what you were looking at. The time when you trade out early is when you can see the trade is going pear-shaped. And I've done this many a time. Many a time. You'll see in my live shows, you'll see in my videos, many a time I've traded out early on a stop because I look at it and I think, this trade's not working out. This trade's not doing what I want it to. This trade is dying. Maybe I'm in the trade for 2 or 3 days and it's going the wrong way. It looks like it's dying. Click out at $20 profit. It's not for the profit. It's just for this trade's going to go against me. And it's a gut feel. I've been doing this for 30 years. I look at it and I think I don't want to keep that trade. But you've been waiting for the strategy. So let's give you the strategy. Let's talk strategy. Let's talk about how you're going to take these trades to make money. My business plan is this. You don't have to copy it to the T, but you can most certainly follow the plan if you want to. And that is, I risk 1% on every single trade. So if you have a $100,000 account, you would be risking $1,000 on every single trade. It doesn't have to be 1%. It can be 0.5%. It can be 10%. It can be 5%. I just choose to use 1% because 1% works for me. If I lose 10 trades, I lose 10% of my account, which is kind of recoverable at the end of the day. So that's fair for me. 1% works for me. So now I'm risking $1,000 per trade. But you've got to work out how big your trade's going to be. You can't just say, I want a stop loss of $1,000 on every trade. What you've got to do is look at the trade and say, well, here's the trade. How am I going to work out the stop loss? Well, the first thing you do is you look at your trade and say, where would this trade be invalid? And that's where I want to put my stop loss. Maybe it's below the lower low or below the support. That's my stop loss. Doesn't matter how far away it is or how close it is. Just as long as it's an area where you know if the price gets there, that trade, you don't want to be in that trade anymore. That's your stop loss. Now you work out how much is $1,000 back to my cost. How many lots, how many pips, whatever the case. Now you know the size of your trade. Now all you want to know is what's my risk to reward. If I take this trade with this $1,000 risk at this level, because now I've worked out my stop loss and the size of my trade, will I be able to make more on my win than I would lose on my loss? In other words, I know the size of my loss now. I know how many lots, how many pips. Can I make more pips or lots on the win? 2 to 1 would be good, but if you can't make 2 to 1, it's not the end of the world. At least try and make 1 to 1 or 1 point something to 1. Try and make more on the win than on the loss. Not difficult. You don't want to be targeting $50 for a loss of $1,000. You want to be targeting anything more than $1,000. And the trade has got to be achievable. It can't just be, oh, I'm just going to take a 2 to 1 and put a trade out there and hope that you're going to win on it. It's got to be an achievable target. Once you see that it's an achievable target and the risk to reward is good, place the trade. And that's another big thing, is being able to go, click, I'm taking the trade. So many people won't click the button, won't take the trade. Make sure you click the button. Make sure you take the trade. Because if you don't take the trade, you won't be trading. You won't have any trades. And then you start getting desperate and you start searching for trades. And this is another problem in the market, is if you haven't had any trades, you start getting desperate and you start looking for trades, you start digging around for more trades, and then you start picking bad trades. You don't want to do that either. But that's the basis of how you pick your trades. And then you just have to follow what I said earlier. And when you're going to a decent profit, move your stop loss up to cost. So now the trade's costing you nothing, and then try and trail your stop up, follow it. Work out a plan that's going to work for you as far as how you want to take your profits and how you want to take your losses. The idea behind the strategy is to lose less on the losses and make more on the wins. Same as what we talked about earlier with the coin toss. You want to make more on the wins and lose less on your losses. It's as simple as the strategy gets. What a massive business plan, eh? Not that bad, not that difficult. Guys, I want to thank you for watching this video. And I hope that everything I've told you today, out of the heart, with no charts, is going to help you somehow and get you ahead in your trading. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And go and watch the other videos where I show you many of the trading systems available, how to trade, and often I'll go on the charts and show you how we trade price action as well in the systems. I'll see you soon. Don't forget to join us for the live shows and have a bit of fun where you can choose trades on the funded account that we're using on that day. Chat soon, chat later. Don't forget to watch the last videos. Cheers, ciao, and bye.